my gosh, can you imagine traveling again? I mean, I, like so many of you, love to travel. It's 2020. I was meant to go on 4 trips this year, and then COVID happened. So that was the end of my traveling for 2020. I don't think I'm going to be going anywhere this year. I'm doing staycations, doing like little weekend breaks around the UK. But did you know that traveling can actually help you achieve a success mindset? If you didn't, I'm going to share with you today 20 tips on how traveling can help you achieve a success mindset. So here we go. Tip number 1, traveling is a great way to find yourself. If you're considering going traveling when everything is back up and running, as usual, then just do it. Like, you'll learn more about yourself and discover more of the world at the same time. Tip number 2 is to know that there will never be a convenient time. So many of us put off traveling thinking that we need to get into the right time. I'm doing air quotes at the moment, you can't see it, but just letting you know that that's what I'm doing. Like, there will never be the right time. Obviously, we are in 2020 and COVID has happened, so a lot of borders are closed and there isn't a lot of freedom of travel. But if you really want to, just go. If you keep putting it off, you put it off indefinitely. Tip 3 is know what you want to achieve. So as in the rest of life, knowing what you want to achieve with your travel is an important way to make sure you get the best results. I'm pretty bad when it comes to traveling because I do schedule my free time. I have everything planned when I'm on holiday because I want to make sure that I see as much of the touristy things that I want to. I want to make sure that I'm eating at all the restaurants that I want to. Make sure I get things done. So traveling is a great way, I think, of planning. So you can you can plan your travel and know what you want to achieve and get that done. Tip 4 is when you travel, consider it as an opportunity for growth. So real travel will change you in the way that you can't quantify. You will come back with a more open mind, more knowledge, and a greater understanding of the world. It will change your success in every other aspect of your life. It just opens your mind. Being surrounded by different cultures, different people, different socio-economic class, even just meeting other tourists will it's great opportunity for growth. Tip 5 is you do not need riches. One more reason that people will often put off traveling is that they think they need to have lots of money to have fun on their trip, and you really don't. You don't. I'm going to use myself as an example. I've been to Vegas 4 times. I've done it on a $300 budget to a $2,000 budget. So I already had my hope. And okay, on my $300 budget, I stayed with someone that I knew, and she was just outside of Vegas, so I was getting an Uber into the strip and I wanted to be there. With my $2,000 budget, which was more like $3,000, I stayed at the Signature at the MGM Grand. It was so good. But guys, what I'm trying to say is I went to Vegas and I've done it on a budget, and you can do that too. And a lot of people think that for Vegas you need 10-20 grand in order to have a good time. You really don't. You can have fun no matter what your budget. It's more a matter of mindset. And once, I said in a previous tip, planning what you want to do, what you want to achieve, you don't need a lot of money. Tip 6 is if you're still in a mindset that you do need to have a lot of money, then you could consider getting a loan. This isn't my favorite option. I think that I personally would like to save for my trips, so I can put £50 a month for 6 months to a year, and then spend that. But if the only way to get cash needed for the travel is to take out a loan, then that's something that you could do. Tip 7 is to recognize the importance of travel. So It might seem like a waste of money to take out a loan to travel, but then you can ask yourself, like, what would be better to spend it on? What's more important than living life? It's one of those little mind hacks, mind tricks, mind questions that you just need to ask yourself, and it really helps you see what your values are. I love travel, so I do put a high value on traveling and seeing things and meeting new people, but if you'd rather spend that money on something else, then just recognize the importance of travel in your life and how much of a priority it is. And then if, like, say for example, if you'd rather take a loan to go in a course to build your business, then you know that that's an important part of your life, so you can focus on that. Yeah, it's just a great way to sort of see what your priorities are. Do you agree with my tips so far? Don't forget to hit that like button, just so I know, and so YouTube knows too. Tip 8 is to work online. So I do know people who have funded their travels by working online. So I know, like, 2 of my friends, they were newlyweds and they went on a 1-year honeymoon. So they like rented out their house in Leeds, and then they travelled like around the world. They travelled in Asia, they lived in the States, but they were doing freelance work online to sort of help fund their travel. So that could be another tip for you. It could be something that you can do, especially like now with COVID. I think a lot of people post COVID are going to be more open to people working from home. So as long as you get the job done, I don't think it really matters that you're physically in the country or in the building. It's just about getting the work done. So think about working online. So tip number 9 is to ask your boss if you can work from home. So it's really sort of a follow-on, I guess, from tip number 8, because once you start working from home, it's only a small transition to then like move into working on the road. So yeah, something you could do. So tip number 10 is linked to tip number 9 and tip number 8, and that is don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Oh my gosh, guys, like, this is one of the most important tips for travel and for life. Like, do you want to work from home? Then ask your boss. Do you want a pay rise? Ask your boss. Do you think that there's a really gorgeous guy and you'd love to go and date with him? Like, go ask him out. The worst he can say is no. What else do people not ask for? Do you get bad service at a restaurant and you don't like the food? Tell the waiter, tell the manager, like, get a refund if it's really bad. Like, guys, ask for what you want. Don't just settle. Don't be a bystander in your own life. Live intentionally, because you were put on this planet to make a difference, to like be light in the world. So ask for what you want and don't be afraid of it. You deserve it. You're awesome. And when you want something, it's not bad. I think a lot of women especially struggle with this, because I don't know, for some reason we feel like we should just accept things the way they are. I'm sort of going off on a tangent right now, but literally, guys, don't settle for something if it's not what you truly want. You deserve the best and highest that life has to offer you. So you just go out and create it and ask for it. Ask God, ask the universe, Yeah. You don't get your dream life by just staying silent. That's my little rant over. Okay, was I a bit too real just now? Like, do we need a time to just pause and let that all sink in? I feel like we do, so I'm just gonna pause for a second. Breathe in. Just let it sink in. I feel like if no one's told you this week, you're awesome, you are worthy, you're put on this planet for a purpose. So yeah, go out there and create a life that is so outstanding, that is so beyond your wildest dream. Let your own love for yourself fuel a life beyond your wildest dream. Tip number 11 is find a job that will let you travel. If you can't get the terms you want, leave and find somewhere that you can. It's a bit scary, especially when we get in our comfort zones and we're like just comfortable where we are. Asking can be hard, but like I said, if you aren't getting the terms that you want, leave and find somewhere else. Tip number 12 is transition slowly to mitigate or reduce your risk. So are you scared to give up work? Like you don't need to until you have a new job or have a working online business that will sort of fund your travel and allow you to live your dream life. So you don't have to do it all at once. Make a plan. I'm really big into planning. Make a plan. Like 6 months from now, a year from now. It doesn't have to be immediate if you're scared of the unknown. You can make it a little bit easier on yourself, but still just don't get stuck. Move, do the hard thing and like decide to move. Tip number 13 is to find out how much you need. So this sort of ties into the whole planning of the previous tip. If you plan on going to like multiple countries, or even if it's just one country for a week, you need to know how much money you need before you go. Like this will help you know what kind of work you need to support yourself while you're out there if you're traveling for a long period of time. It will also sort of help you budget. So if you're working and you want to save before you go, you know how much money you need to save each month. It's just a great tool. If you are like struggling with your money mindset, or you want tips on how to make money, then there's this book called Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise Duffield Thomas. I read this book last year and it actually really helped me with some of my money blocks. Money blocks are like things that are sort of limiting you in receiving money, because I remember like I was getting to the stage where I'd make a lot of money but I would spend it like almost as quickly as I was making it, because in my mind I just didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like I deserved to be rich. I didn't feel like I deserved to see zeros in my bank account, and so reading that book really helped me get rid of some of my money blocks. I find as I get rid of some, I discover some new ones, so it's an ongoing journey. But that's a book that I would recommend. So you can get the physical book, or you could do what I do, which is listen to it Audible. So Audible is a company owned by Amazon, and they have audio versions of the most popular books that I've mentioned on my channel. So although I still prefer buying a physical book, there are times when I just need my eyes for something else, like when I'm cooking or at the gym or going for walks. So I fill these spaces with audiobooks or podcasts, and I found it useful, and I thought you guys might find it useful too. So I have partnered with Audible, and if you go to nefiaguntaye.com/free book, you can get your first audiobook for free when you sign up. Signing up will result in me receiving financial benefits from Audible, which will help out this channel. Just for full disclosure. And guys, like, I love reading books, so if there's an audiobook or a book that I've not mentioned on this channel that you think I should read, then let me know in the comments below and I will check it out and add it to my reading list. So tip number 14 is ask for forgiveness, not permission. So like, if you're scared to travel because of what others will say, so worry about it when you get back. So one of my younger brothers, like, I swear all the time, he would like go off and do something, and then after he'd come back he'd be like, oh, mom and dad, I just did this, and they'd be furious, but by that time, like, he's already done it, so there isn't really much that they could do. Take a page from my brother's book and ask for forgiveness, not permission. Just do it. Tip number 15 is kind of what I'm doing at the moment, is I'm compromising. So there's always like I said earlier, you know, I had planned to go on 4 trips this year. I was going to go to Vegas again in April. I was going to go to Nigeria in May. I was going to go to Greece with my cousin in June for my birthday, and I was going to go to the Bahamas in October. So I was planning 4 trips this year, and then COVID happened. So instead of going on 4 big trips, I'm just doing little weekend breaks around the UK, and I'm realising there's so many beautiful places in my own country that I've not been to. So, you know, if you've always dreamed of travelling but can't really go, then consider the alternatives. Consider making smaller trips, because you're still experiencing something, you're still meeting new people. That's what I love most about travel, just meeting new people. So you're still experiencing something new, so consider doing that as an alternative. So tip number 16 is to get your loved ones on board. So are you sad to leave your loved ones? Do you not want to travel alone? Have you got a partner who doesn't want to travel? So what you can do is you can find a place for them in your plans. So for example, if your partner doesn't want to go on an 8-hour trip somewhere, maybe on the plane, maybe you can go on a 3-hour trip by ferry. I don't know what your plans are, I'm just saying what some alternatives. You guys can compromise and meet in the middle. Tip 17 is to find easier ways. So whatever it is you want to accomplish, there's normally easier ways that you might find that you might have missed. So traveling is no different. So for example, if you want to get a hotel but it's too pricey, you could look at who you know in that area, who you're close with. Could you possibly couch surf on their couch? I mean, that's what I did when I did Vegas in 300. I stayed at my cousin's for free, but I was sleeping on the couch. You just gotta look for alternative ways. Before I continue, be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to get notified about my latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them, and if you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on the notifications. Tip 18 is to be relentless. Guys, if this is your dream, then don't let anything derail you. That's true in travel as it is with anything in life. You got to be relentless, you got to keep going for it, go towards your goal, and you will achieve it as long as you don't give up. Tip number 19 is to speak with others. So are you struggling to make it happen? Talk to others who've traveled successfully and get their tips, get their ideas, get their little hacks on how they manage to do what it is that you want to do. It's like that in travel, and it's like that in business. It's just like that in life as well. So speak with others. Tip number 20, our final tip, is to be present. So when you go on your journey, make sure that you enjoy it thoroughly. So be present and don't let fear prevent you from having an amazing time. It's so important to be in the moment. When you're going and you're visiting a new culture, embrace the culture, embrace the moment, and those are what will form those memories that you can look back on. Do you agree with my tips? Make sure to like, share, and let me know in the comments. I also handpicked these videos which I recommend you watch next. You can talk to me on all social medias or ask me a question on my website, nefiaguntoye.com. Thank you for being a freedom seeker, and I will see you in the next video.